Well, hello and good evening. Firefly, season 1, episode 10, War Stories, first aired back in 2002, but here in 2026 on Live Long and Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, or catching the audio version, wherever you get your podcasts, our mission to watch every episode of Firefly continues. I am your host and captain, Dave Mater, and I would normally say we have a top tier panel. It's a panel of one.
We do. It's just me. It's the most important person in my life is here with me, and that's me.
Of course. The man in the engineer's chair, questioning every tactical choice in the rescue mission, the shuttle sabotage, the infiltration plan, the timing, and the crew's split-second decisions under fire. It is the one and only Jody Simpson. Welcome, Jody.
Thank you, Dave. You know what? Just because there's less people doesn't mean your intro doesn't mean just as much as it always does to me.
Well, thank you, Jody. And I'm done early. I don't have to introduce 5 more people, so that's going to be get us through.
Well, Stargazer in the chat says she's part of the panel now. Or
okay,
well, I can't remember. I believe it's a she, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I've never asked.
Correct us if we're right or wrong on that one, Stargazer.
Yeah, Stargazer Fish. We are talking about the 10th episode overall of Firefly that aired back on December 6th, 2002, written by Cheryl Kane, directed by James Conter, and it's called War Stories. And in this one, Wash demands a field assignment, but the crime lord Niska, who we met back in the train job episode, he's back and he wants his vengeance for Mal's refusal to complete that earlier job. Oh, it's a panel of 3, everyone, coming in.
And a mater shows up. I'm now outnumbered.
On his birthday's eve, tracking the strategic fallout, Niska's vendetta, and the Skyplex assault. The consequences of Wash forcing himself into the field. If there's a power shift brewing, he's already mapping the fault lines. It's Jeff Mater.
All the fault lines, yep.
Yeah.
Kind of a good episode.
Kind of a good episode.
I liked it.
Like for Jeff, that's pretty high on this show.
That is pretty high for Jeff.
That's a Firefly 9 for me.
Yeah.
Firefly 9.
So just so of course spoilers if you have not seen episode 10 of Firefly, but we kind of broke down most of it here. Niska's back, the evil German gangster or whatever he is, or maybe he's like I want to say German, but he could also be like, I don't know, Danish or something. Potentially. You got Wash's jealousy boiling over here as he doesn't like Zoe. He's always listening to her boss Mal. He gets a little tug of war here. And then Mal and Wash get captured. They get electrocuted, tortured. Mal gets his ear cut off at one point. But it gets reattached.
Sorry for misgendering you, Stargazer.
Yes. Well, he's a he. And then the crew has to launch this rescue mission, which mostly goes well. I guess the big outcome of that I guess was River showed off that she's a Terminator, and not just from the Sarah Connor Chronicles, but also
that scene might have been what got her the job. Who knows?
Perhaps because she, with her eyes closed, is able to shoot 3 of Niska's guards, and I don't think
accurately too.
Yeah,
without looking.
And I think those are all the big beats. And I guess Inara was making out with a lady, and doing some massages.
Which 26 years ago might have been very exciting.
I think I was trying to I was like, okay, I'm back in 2002, and I'm trying to frame this whole thing in that context.
I don't think I cared back then either. When I was
but just in terms of how it's playing to the audience, I think it's presented differently than it would be today.
True.
So I noticed that a little bit, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. I thought this was a
fun episode. I thought.
Yeah,
it has all the mainstays. It's got some humor in it. It's got torture. It's got everything you need for an episode.
Yeah. We go out to Vasquez Rocks at one point.
Yes. No Gorn though.
No Gorn.
Not a single Gorn.
Not a single Gorn.
What can you do?
They might come back at some point. Yeah, I thought it was. And I don't know, Jeff. Any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean the beats were pretty simple. It's basically like, a guy that's not usually on the away team is on the away team. He's having like thoughts about, marriage stuff that he's like, oh, my boss is way closer to my wife than I am. This sucks. And he's like, what, what's that all about? And then they end up getting captured by psychopaths. And then so they get tortured. And then the crew basically has to band together to go bust them out. It felt so Star Wars. It felt like they might as well have been like Chewie should have been there. And like, I was just like, this is like a New Hope. I'm like, this that's how it felt.
Well, Jane is Chewie in this scenario.
Yes, Jane was kind of
Yeah.
Chewie, and then like
Yeah.
the preacher was kind of like
Princess Leia.
C3PO or Princess Leia. Yeah.
Or maybe the doctor was Princess Leia. But yeah, like it was not exactly a complicated story, but in terms of like Niska coming back, how sadistic he is as a villain in the episode, I thought was
He's
was
good.
Yeah, was
Michael
good.
Fairman's great.
Like because the previous time we saw Niska in the train job, I didn't give a damn about Niska then. Like I know they showed us that he was like this brutal gangster in that episode, but when it's a character getting tortured, it's I think it's a little bit different versus like just some random criminal that whoever he had in the second episode.
He's still alive, Michael Fairman.
Really?
Wow. The guy who plays
92.
Niska?
He's 90.
It's got to be in the 90s then.
Yeah, he's 92.
92. Wow.
Oh, he's 91. He'll be 90. No, yeah, he's 92. He'll be 93 in February.
Either way, doing good.
Yeah, and like, well, it just made me think about that Hayden Panettiere, who was not on Firefly, but she died today.
That's unfortunate.
Born the
Yesterday.
same year as you, Jeff.
Yeah, she's only, and her birthday is in 4 days. So
Yeah.
You're only born a few days apart.
Yeah, we're born a few days apart.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Well,
unfortunate, especially
we
when people
live
die that
similar
young.
lives, very
Well,
successful.
yeah, I was just thinking that actually. Yeah.
You've outlived her.
And all that cheerleading he does,
by a day or so.
Yeah,
all those cheerleaders he plays.
But will we outlive Niska? We'll see.
Most people won't outlive Niska.
But there's not like the episode I think is more spectacle than anything. I think it's I think that giving Wash slightly more depth in this episode, I guess, was good. Although
He sucks though. His character is horrible. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan. I find him just whiny and just like I like there's not much to him. I feel like he's just like the foil to make Mal look cool. Like is that do you guys get that vibe from him? I'm just
I can't say I disagree with you. Like
He's supposed to be the funny sidekick, I think, really.
But he's not that funny. Like that's kind of my issue.
But he's not even that much of a
he's
sidekick
kind
either.
of whiny. That's
yeah,
just
in
my
terms
issue
of
with
his
character.
he is funny at times. He has been funny in certain episodes, but generally, like, what does he bring to the table? I guess he's sometimes it's a joke. He's supposed to be this great pilot, and we do see glimpses of that in certain episodes. But
there's glimpses of like why he's on the crew, but overall, like in an episode like this, you have Alan Tudyk, who's like known for voices, and he's different characters he can do. And the way they write this Wash character is just, well, that's fair. That's, what? That's I'm whiny. I can be whiny too. Maybe, you know what? It's
seems like whining might be something that happens around here. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I know my own architect type, and
that's fine.
I feel like Wash is that.
But and like you're looking at it through
It's,
like a
wait,
2026, like
Put that comment back up. It's humor with a U.
Okay, but if they're American, it's not. So just because the Americans don't know how to spell and their
we let
school
them
system
spell
sucks.
wrong.
We humor them.
I don't think we let them do anything, but anyway.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's fair though. Yeah, that's true. He really wasn't that massive back then.
I guess the other thing with this episode, Mal gets to look cool here and there, but also I think Zoe gets quite a few moments in this episode. Her
finally.
you know,
She always feels like a side character to me in the show.
well, she kind of is. Like she's
Yeah.
she's
Even
meant
though
to
she's
be,
like second in command, realistically.
like if she didn't have this relationship with Wash, there would really be almost nothing to her, right?
Yeah.
Like she would be
True.
basically like
Yeah.
this, just a very stoic,
Yeah.
I guess, you know, second in command, but like that's like she's almost like a statue sometimes, you know.
That's-
She's so
That's kind of the issue with the whole show, though. I mean, like Mal is like the leading man, and everyone else like is his like he's the quarterback, and everyone else is like an O lineman.
he's more
You
like the
know?
sun, and everyone is a planet revolving around him in some way.
Yeah.
It feels like
Well, that kind of makes sense though. It's his ship, and he's
Right,
yeah,
but
it kind of makes sense.
it's Picard's ship on Star Trek, but Riker has a lot of depth and all that. All these characters. They like yes, they have more time. This is only one season, but all I'm trying to say is that like tonight we have Mal. He's got his shirt off. And they're torturing him, and
Ear gets cut off. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm just like they're like he's the money shot. This is what we need on TV. Is because like they're both getting.
But we're also
tortured, they're both
talking
getting
the first season
electrocuted.
of a show. Like it's the first season of a show is really to set things up, right?
I just thought it was
So it's-
insane that they did a scene where like they're torturing two guys, and then they're like, you know what? No, we need to get one of these characters out so we can only torture the other guy. Like I thought it was like so put all the emphasis on that. It's like the whole point was that they were in this together, and so it would have been like I don't understand why they wrote that.
Yeah,
into
but
this
if Wash didn't leave, then he couldn't mount a rescue.
did he mount the rescue?
Well,
don't
no,
think so,
not
he
really,
did.
but
like couldn't they
Of
have
course we
mounted the
did.
rescue and kept their money?
yes.
That's the only thing that's kind of weird to me. 'Cause
But
they
the
didn't
money was the objective first, though, was to see if they could buy
right,
it out,
because
right?
there's risk, because like no one dies on their side.
Because at the time when they were doing the money thing, they weren't mounting a rescue. Like they weren't trying to do that. They were just trying to buy his freedom.
The other plot detail I don't quite understand is like, because Inara has this thing with the counselor, and she's from this planet, and
Mhm.
something that Inara does helps them with the rescue, but I didn't understand exactly what Inara or what the counselor did to help them. Do you guys follow that?
No, not at all. I never got that.
Maybe someone in the
I'm
comments
sure it's
can
in there. It's probably subtle, and I missed it. But
Okay. Yeah. Well, like, because almost everyone on the team has to contribute in some way in this final, act, right?
I'm guessing maybe it was a resource thing or something. I don't know. Maybe she used her ties.
somehow Inara's connection to that woman allowed them to be successful.
All right. This is where we reach out to chat. Chat, tell us why.
Yeah. This is what we need.
Anyone.
Where's our Mr.
We need-
Firefly?
Where's Jim?
Where's
Jim? Well,
Where's
Jim's not
Murphy?
feeling well, but
Yeah. Where's Murphy? Where's
but Murphy would spend 20 minutes telling us how one scene's really good.
he would, and then he would. Yeah. It would be a whole thing. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Be a whole rigmarole.
A whole rigmarole. Yeah, like for the most part, like I think this was like I enjoyed the episode. I laughed. I thought it was like I was captivated by the brutality of it. What
Yeah.
was the question?
What did Inara do?
What did Inara through the counselor do something to help them? Like that's her question. Because they say, "Oh, thanks, Inara, for getting that counselor to do so and so." That was the part.
I missed that completely.
And okay. And my other critique of this episode, I guess, which is like, Kaylee at the end. Okay. Kaylee's reaction to River, even before that, like when they're like,
Well, she's
like,
scared of her
why?
because of the fact that she cannot look at something and still shoot it dead on. That's got to be a little weird.
And she was terrified. She was running from the gunfight.
She was running from them to begin with.
That was the part that, like, I guess I struggle with, because I'm like, Kaylee's seen some pretty brutal stuff in, like, even in these 10 episodes.
Yeah, but when you think about it, though, has she really been in the shit? Like, she's been part of that stuff, but she's never been like given a weapon and said, okay, you got to go kill some people.
Well, she grabbed the weapon and she
She
like,
did.
because when they said, okay, we got to go try to save Mal, and she grabs it and she's like, okay, let's go.
But she's a bit of a follower, right? So,
And then when she got over there, I'm like we would have been better off without you, Kaylee, almost, you know, in this fight, because she just runs away. She nearly gets herself killed. River saves her butt, but you know, that was just the part. Didn't fully make sense to me, but other than she's like, oh no. River is
so Draven has an answer for you here.
Draven says Inara failed in her attempt to get help from the counselor, but was able to get medical stuff.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either.
To help Mal, like with his ear attachment. And
oh, was it because the doctor needed some equipment that he didn't have? Because I know he mentioned something about how like it was a clean cut, and with the right equipment, he can put the ear back on. Maybe that's what it was.
Because
oh, there you go. Somebody just answered it.
Simon later uses.
There you go.
High tech equipment. Okay, like if you just told me that Simon did it all in the infirmary without that, I would believe you. Like,
wouldn't have cared.
I wouldn't. Yeah. So, but I guess they just wanted to give Inara something that she did. But
well, she already did something. She was rubbing down a girl.
She was doing. Yeah, she was being sexy time. But my second critique is just how I feel like Mal should be a little bit more shook by the end, you know, after what he goes through. And he's
the guy that gets tortured all the time, Dave.
He's just a little too, his disposition's just a little too cheery for me at the end. But that's that.
What did you want him to do? Be more like Picard after the whole Locutus thing?
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe having a bit of sorrow and stuff.
Like, even if he just been down on his back in the infirmary again, like he's not able to get like you know, just up and about, you know, that fast, right? But he bounces back a little quickly, considering he does die in this episode and gets resuscitated.
Technically,
yeah. So it was a rough day for Mal.
Oh yeah,
I would say rougher than that in the Out of Gas episode, where he was, you know, like shot and then he had to like crawl through the sections and stab himself in the heart. And
he's had a pretty shitty run the last couple episodes, actually. When you think about it,
you know, he's had some rough like, and I like that. Remember that at the end of that, you know, Out of Gas, like he's got to wait in the infirmary for a while before he's ready to get up, and like here he's like, I was tortured for 2 days. I'm died once. Got my ear cut off. I'm fine.
I feel like you know, like maybe like this is just a trope in shows, but like like especially in the early 2000s, like, you know, there's this like thing where like people get tortured and
Dave's gone.
Oh yeah, Dave is gone. But like, yeah, people get tortured and they always are defiant, and that is like normal torturing, I guess, like where like I guess people, you know, resist, you know, screw you. But a lot of times, you know, people will break, you know, or like they're just gonna be like, I don't want to deal with this, you know, like, you know. But they're always like, that's what makes them heroic. That's how they always like. It's kind of like lazy, I think, a lot of times in these torture kind of scenes, like famously in Fight Club when he's getting punched by the one guy or whatever, and he's you know,
it's a great torture scene though. Just because we're on that subject, Casino Royale. I love the torture scene in
when the guy's he's hitting him in the balls with that rope,
with a big huge rope, in the hollow chair.
Scratches balls a little to the left.
Yeah, can you just scratch my balls a little to the left?
Yeah,
anyway.
Like this.
We're getting off topic now, but
well, it was a brutal scene, and like for a network primetime TV show, this was pretty strong.
It was pretty tight.
Yeah,
it was
like,
pretty tight.
You know, for the time.
Yeah.
So hey, kudos to them.
Because what channel was this on? Fox?
Fox, yeah.
This was Fox, yeah.
Right. It's, you know, it's airing at like 8 or 9.
Which makes sense. Which makes sense for the time period, because Fox really was the one that was kind of pushing the boundaries most of the time.
More of the time, yeah. And like there were other shows, but like it just kind of stuck out to me. Like I don't know if you would see something. You could see a scene like that in Star Trek, but like. Well,
here, I'll give you a good example of exactly the type of show that was on Fox probably a year or even around the same time was 24. There's a lot of torture scenes in 24.
Lots
also
of torture
on
in 24.
Fox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It was also it made me think, oh yeah, what's another torture show? You know, it was definitely 24.
That one,
Fuck.
everyone's cheering on Jack
Maybe,
Bauer.
maybe Fox called that TV block like the torture, torture
Yeah.
Tuesdays or something.
Maybe that's why they got rid of Firefly. They're like, we already have a torture show.
We have a
We
torture
already
show.
have a torture show. It's
Let's
fine.
Can we get Niska on 24? But like maybe he was on 24. I don't know. So, all right, let's do our screenshot breakdown of the episode and talk all about it.
In the YouTube reviewing community, there are two separate but equal entities: the people reviewing the show and the screenshots they have to use because of YouTube's bullshit copyright system. These are those screenshots.
All right, we're into screenshots. So the episode began with with Simon reviewing the brain scan of River, coming off of the episode Ariel, where they broke.
Turns out she has one.
She has still missing the amygdala, I believe. And it's, Simon talking to Book about this and what they're doing to try to help her. Book also makes this mention of like, I think they did this to her just to torture her. And Simon's not so sure. He thinks that this was done to her explicitly for a reason. He doesn't know entirely what the reason was, but he doesn't think it was just like to be sadistic. And he also thinks that why would they still be after us if they just wanted to, torture us or to put her through pain? There's something more nefarious about it. So I guess just like kind of a wrap up from the last episode on what's going on with River. Because we then arrive here in the solar system. We see Firefly, the Serenity is on one side of the planet. And then we kind of quickly like pan across to the other side of the planet where we see this space station. This is Niska's space station, where Niska, the well-dressed, I don't know, like he's Belgian or something. Yeah, gangster guy. He likes to torture people. He's got this poor sap, up here. He's whipping him in the front. He's got all these little whip marks and he's getting ready to like disembowel him with a big old Klingon looking knife. But just then, one of Niska's assistants says, "Oh, we believe Serenity has just arrived in the solar system. That is Mal's ship." And he's like, "Oh, I've wanted to torture Mal since episode 2. This is my chance." So he just I don't know. I guess this was just an appetizer. This guy, he was getting ready to move on to dessert with Mal and Wash, as he just stabs this guy and twists the knife. As we get kind of reintroduced to Niska, and he's a mean old guy. And that is our teaser for the episode. As we get the credits, and coming out of the credits, the first thing we go is back to Serenity. And we start off here with River and Kaylee running around the ship like a couple of kids, because I think River stole Kaylee's apple or something, and but also kind of just establishing that River and Kaylee up until this point have a good relationship. We see Mal talking to Inara because Inara is planning to bring the next client actually on board through the doors. Normally Inara goes off in her shuttle to meet her clients, but she's actually bringing the client to the ship. So Mal has to meet this client. At this point in the episode, the assumption is that this client is a man. And so Mal has to, he's not going to get into a sword fight again. He's past that. He's not looking to challenge that person to a duel. But nobody steps onto his boat without him getting to meet them. So that's what his is. But then, he's also yelling at River and Kaylee, who are running around and being annoying, about the apples and stuff like that. We River and Kaylee's little run, it takes us into like the kitchen where Zoe and Wash and I think Jane's here at one point. They come in, they're kind of observing them as they're fighting over the apples. They have all these apples in this episode.
Yes, which is something that's a bit of a rarity.
Yeah.
Fresh fruit.
There's the whole thing here too about how Zoe and Mal always eat their apples with a knife, whereas the rest of them just bite into the apples. I don't know if you have a preference, Jody, on how you eat an apple.
I actually rather have one with a knife.
You cut it.
Yeah.
You never bite it.
Amanda slices.
I will. Like, I'm not against it. I prefer the knife method.
Like, do you do it like John Locke, where you you cut it like up to
You
your
cut
skin?
it, yeah, just barely not cutting your own skin in the process.
That's the way Amanda cuts it, and I'm like, you.
Oh, where you basically cut it until it hits your finger.
Yeah, you
exactly.
you pull towards you.
I will say I'm guilty of that. Yes.
Yeah, they don't never do that. But anyway, but as they're talking about how Mal and Zoe cut apples a certain way, they get into a story about the war that Mal and Zoe were in, and this spurs something in Wash, like some I don't think it's the first time this has come up, but it's the first time we're getting it in the episode.
He wants some action.
He's jealous too, and he doesn't like that Mal and that Zoe knew Mal before him, right? Was we had already kind of picked up on those flashbacks. River here, is they land on the planet. And this is where so after they land, Wash makes this point to Zoe. He's like, I think I should go on this mission instead of you because X and X. Or it was also because I think Wash had a suggestion for the mission, and Zoe doesn't want to just tell him no, so kind of says, well, I have to talk to Mal.
She's trying to be nice, but in reality, she doesn't want him to go.
Nicer he is, the more he gets mad about it, and it turns into this big fight about how she's like, how about you turn down my ideas instead of tell me Mal did it, right? And she's like, fine, I did. I told him your idea sucks, and but there's what is Draven saying? He mad Zoe always takes Mal's side because they have such history.
It's not just mad. It's like, what's the right word? Inferior. I think he feels inferior in the relationship with his wife that his wife has with Mal, and vice versa.
Because Mal's like a man.
Yeah.
Right. And he wants that kind of respect.
Well, I mean, stop wearing Hawaiian shirts, and then it's the first, the first start.
Yeah. Start wearing suspenders like Mal.
Right.
And then you can.
I like his shirts.
Well, so does Zoe, but not his ideas. On how to
Fair
go
Right,
with
that's
this.
true.
Fair enough.
So, but anyway, after that fight, then we go. There's a scene here with Simon and River where Simon goes to check on River, and she's still recovering. He's just trying to give her different drugs after that brain scan, some of which are making her ill. And she doesn't know who she is, and he tries to comfort her. She says she puked on his bed, and you must be my sister. Is there anything else about this scene that I'm forgetting? I think that was
No, that's pretty much it.
Rivers, she's been having a rough year.
Well, and the medication that she's on right now, obviously they're having issues with the dosage and stuff. She's not feeling well.
Yeah. We then head over. Books reading the Bible or something, and I guess this is where it's Kaylee and Jane. They're like spying on like Anara's client who's going to come through those doors. They're all like interested, whereas Book's pretending like he doesn't care. But
I love how first it's Kaylee, who's got a smile, grin ear to ear, because she's like, oh, I'm going to see some really, cute dude or something like that. Then it's like all of a sudden you see Jade and Jane starts smiling and you're like, okay.
Well, Jane's being like really creepy, really that. And Jane's a creep is probably another big part of this episode.
Also, the way he was eating that apple is absurd.
I could eat a peach for days.
No one would. He's stabbed that apple through the core with his
Yeah, he's using his knife as a holder.
It's like a kebab.
It's like a
an
stick.
Apple kebab. Yeah, but
it's like a caramel apple minus the caramel.
And instead of a stick, it's a knife.
Every time you take a bite,
anyway,
you gotta be careful.
We see the person who we think is the client, and then Book gets up and he wants to watch. This turns out not to be the client. This is just I guess a security guard, but because Mal tries to shake this guy's hand and he won't shake Mal's hand, and there's a bit of this moment of confusion. But then the actual client is here after the security gives the all clear, and we meet the counselor lady, and they go, "A woman? Her client's a woman? What?" Blow our minds, 2002.
Well, the reason why she's there is because I guess she doesn't want to be known as somebody who goes to the escorts, I guess.
I guess so.
That's why she's meeting them there instead of the other way around. Because usually Inara goes to them, right?
Yeah, but the point whole here is that like it's a woman. Like this is
Of course. Yeah.
they're being lesbians, Jody.
Oh my, Dave.
You remember just a few years
women can like women? What has happened in this world? This must be science fiction.
The 90s.
That was
I do.
You remember just like how big of
it
a
really
deal
wasn't
was?
ground basing.
You remember how big of a deal it was when Roseanne kissed a woman on one episode? And how many?
Ellen DeGeneres.
I do actually
how many
remember.
years before is Ellen DeGeneres?
Like 6.
I never cared about Ellen DeGeneres anyway.
But I know you don't care, Jody. I'm trying to put us back in the time frame of 2002.
I didn't care back then either. So
I know you don't care. I also don't care. It's just
new meds do always suck. I agree.
Yeah. It's like, why are we can't talk about this. All right.
We can talk about it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Jane got all like a boner, I guess. He's like, I'll be in my bunk jerking off because I'm a creepo with my apples. Yeah. Anyway, so then we see this is where Wash and Mal are gonna get ready to leave. And
yeah, they're taking the other shot.
Mal is not down with this plan, and we see here that it's going to be Wash and Mal going, and Mal's very not over this whole thing. He doesn't like this whole fight between Wash and Zoe, and this.
Well, they're fighting basically in front of him.
There's this fight here, and there's a lot of swearing in Chinese, and
there is,
whatever. But Zoe's just like, fine, go. Like you need to get this out of your system. So off they go. And Mal's like, what the hell? So we see Mal and Wash leave in one shuttle. Then we focus on the second shuttle, still docked on Serenity, which has Inara and the counselor and massages and.
Here, hold on, I got to put this back up. Lesbians?
Yes.
All right. I think Inara is bisexual, technically.
Like she's asexual.
Yeah, maybe. She likes her skin. And then there's kissing and everything else. I know, like by 2026, like this is not a big deal, but this was still kind of like not a huge deal, but it showed progress, I guess. From the decade earlier.
Well, it's nice to see everybody get represented, I guess.
Yeah.
Heather would be happy, but she would. Heather would approve of the representation.
But Heather's not here, so but I would imagine she would. Anyway, so
she'd be telling you, Jody, you should care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still don't.
Wash and Mal head out to Vasquez Rocks. He's making Wash carry like all the medical supplies, the stuff they stole from the hospital in the previous episode that they're still selling.
Dude,
hold on.
Stands out like a sore thumb.
Draven says 2002 was so long ago. Piss off, Draven. All right.
That was the year my son was born. So, yeah. Actually,
I remember it like it was yesterday. You youngins.
What were you saying, Jeff? Like, what stands out? Like,
sorry.
Wash, man. Like every scene, especially when he leaves the ship, I'm like, he does not look like he belongs in the world. Like, just he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Like, he looks silly. Like, I mean, compared to everyone else, and really in reality, everyone else looks silly. But on this show,
he looks silly amongst a bunch of silly looking people.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why it's the comedic effect, I guess.
Yeah.
They meet up with these 3 guys to sell the stuff, and like the sale is going pretty well. But then after they exchange some money here, all of a sudden Mal notices that the guy he's selling to has like this laser sight on his head. And
that's never a good sign, Dave.
No, if you see like laser sights, it's
no.
good.
Once you see a little red dot moving around, either a cat's gonna jump out and start hitting somebody, or the other.
classic like 2000s 90s trope, like the laser sight. Like that's not, you don't see that in the movies
Oh,
anymore.
dude, they've been doing that since like 70s.
They
70s and
they
80s.
have,
Yeah.
they have. Well,
Like in the middle of the daytime, it's a little bit, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so these snipers show up. I guess these are Niska's like mercenaries, and they kill the 3 people buying the medical supplies, and they promptly kidnap Mal and Wash and take them away here. I guess in their desert.
do you think they got the
fatigues.
uniforms from Black Hawk Down?
They're not Starship Troopers uniforms, so they have to
No.
go
Oh, at the same time.
At
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
time, man.
Back to Serenity. Book's doing bench presses with Jane here, and then we see Inara's seen her client out, and Jane wants to jerk off some more. So
That's why he has the towel.
Yeah. And
That was definitely on purpose. You know that was on purpose.
probably
Whoever did the set thing.
like.
for
Can
that.
you look any more of a creep?
I think that's the whole point of Jane, though. He is kind of the creep.
And he's like, going over there. He even looks over at Inara, and she just rolls her eyes.
Yeah,
at
she
him.
just rolls her eyes at him.
She's like, you suck.
Like, stupid idiot.
Yeah, and then he's gonna go jerk off again, but just then Zoe says, "Hey, we haven't heard from Mal and Wash. We better go find out where they're at." So the spanking has been delayed, Jane, and you'll have to come out for the mission.
I wonder why he's always grumpy. They keep interrupting him during his spank sessions.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Book volunteers to go as well. He wants to help. So when they arrive on the scene, they find the 3 dead buyers. They find the medical supplies have not been taken, so they know that that's not the motive, and that there's not much else for them to do here. Like that they've been dragged off because they find the tracks from the ship that presumably took them away, which could only go to a space station. So they kind of start.
Yeah, it doesn't have the range to go somewhere else.
Right, they're able to piece this together, but where, like, who took them, and not yet why, but like at least where they could be. So back on the space station, Wash and Mal are brought in blindfolded, and Wash is still arguing with Mal about this whole issues with like his wife and Mal, and he's like, okay,
I think
I'm Zoe in this situation. If Zoe had gone on this mission with you, Mal, she would be here instead of me. She would have been the one abducted instead of me. So what would Zoe do? He was like, Zoe wouldn't talk this much. So start by shutting up and let me figure this out.
I like Wash's character, but I have to say I think he's probably the worst part of this episode. Is just the constant whine that he's going on with.
He's a little over the top. I wish they had rated him they dialed back it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's just, but I just think they
like he's a fish out of water. I get that, but it's still, he's still a little too much.
And his jealousy, I think, is like he could be a little bit more or a little less like pronounced. I guess he could be, but he's just giving it to Mal. He's just pissed off about this whole situation and everything else. And then Niska comes in while they're still blindfolded, and he pulls up Mal's blindfolded and says hello. And I think Mal's like, "Oh, we're so screwed."
You know what? Honestly, though, go back a screenshot. Anybody who wears those glasses, you have to be worried about.
Like those are Santa Claus glasses.
Yeah,
like,
be worried. Be worried.
That guy had a white beard. He would be Santa Claus.
Maybe. He's got a hell of a honker on him, though.
That's well. There you go.
He's very happy.
He's very happy.
He's
Well,
like,
yes, because he's about to torture somebody.
that's
It's his favorite pastime.
That's what fills his days. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I guess I don't know with like that's the other thing that Wash is saying. He's like, you guys always have the stories. Well, I don't think you'll ever forget this experience.
Yeah. Well, you have a story now, Wash.
Yeah.
Remember that time we were electrocuted by that German nutcase?
Stargazer makes a good point. He agrees. And a thick tie gets him nervous as well.
Mhm.
I agree. Thick
Kinda thin ties
ties.
sometimes.
And big collar.
Yeah, even thin ties sometimes. You have to have a certain ratio of
You have
tie
to be, like,
before you're.
especially thin, like unnaturally thin. Then you go,
You
"Oh,
can't
that's
have a
insane."
big collar and a thick tie. That's absurd.
Yeah, there's something weird going on with this guy.
Anyway, well, there's more than one weird thing going on. Anyway, so back on Serenity, Zoe's like trying to raise bail money. Basically, she's like, okay, because they made a whole bunch of money off of the medical heist, and they're pulling all that money together so that they can go buy.
I like how they did allude to the fact that everybody has been spending their money though, because they're like, well, this is what I got left. This is what I got left. So it's like they have been spending money.
We also heard that like Jane had been very generous with his share because Mal did not tell the rest of them that he had betrayed them in the previous episode. So Jane feels a little guilty, and he had more of his money's left over from his share.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, Draven, but yes.
Yeah.
The bad guy is still alive.
Randy too. He's probably watching, us tonight.
He's probably watching this podcast and going,
Yeah.
I wonder what they
for
thought
sure. Yeah,
of
for
my
sure.
performance in 2002.
It was creepy. It was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah. Well,
No
speaking
one
of,
else is talking about one of his performances tonight. I guarantee you.
probably not. Anyway, back on Niska's space station where he's torturing Mal and Wash to much delight, and Mal and Wash throughout this entire scene are arguing, continuing this argument, right?
Yeah. While the torturer is standing there, basically trying to get this torture in, and he's like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah,
It reminded me of like the Bad Boys banter,
Does that not look like Tunic to you guys? In a way, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way it's shot, but like,
is it not like who? Like who?
it doesn't look like Alan Tudyk in that shot. to
Oh,
me, but-
well, it is. It is.
yeah,
but-
yeah. It's the way his face is lit. But
I think it's just the shadowing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this fight keeps going on, and about whatever, and and Niska's just electrocuting them in between these arguments. But we eventually start to figure out that this is this argument is part of keeping them focused and off the pain. They're almost doing this a little bit deliberately. That's how I took it.
Stargazer says it's his torture stunt double.
I think it might have been maybe in that one shot.
He
Maybe.
needed a chest double. Is there going on them here, and how doesn't the argument end here with like, you want me to bang your wife, Wash? Is that what's going to solve this?
Yeah, which lines up that joke at the end, which I did like.
Yeah. But yeah, but we'll find out. Wash will say after this scene that Mal stopped him from breaking here. I don't know if they were trying to torture them for information specifically, or just torture them to.
I never
No,
even
maybe-
caught why he's torturing him, other than he's enjoying it.
He
Like-
enjoys torture. That's
Yeah.
the whole scene that they have another guy he's torturing earlier in the episode. They're just setting the precedent that this guy just loves torture.
Yeah,
He's just the torture guy. Yeah.
he's the torture man. Anyway, so more electrocutions. As we see here, Zoe is heading over to try to buy their freedom to the space station. She comes alone, unarmed, with just a bag of money. This could have gone really bad if Niska just thrown her into a cell.
Yeah, she could have been tortured.
Yeah, tortured. And
He could have took the money and tortured her.
Yeah.
Could have got a
But-
twofer.
Zoe does this plan on this premise that Niska has some kind of weird demented code about debts and like gangster logic, I guess, and if I pay him back for the money we took on the train job, then he will let us have him back is the thought process.
Oh, Dave's gone again, so I will fill in. So Draven says, no torture for them for fun, and make sure that everybody knows not to mess with Niska, which is true. Welcome back, Dave.
Thanks.
Enhance. There we go. All right.
Anyway, so then they tell Niska that Zoe's there, and I don't know what was going on inside this space station. They were making things in here.
Well, this is the core. You have to have a core in every space station for when you want to throw somebody over a balcony. There has to be like a long drop. Yeah.
This is just establishing that there's a long drop. Is that all this is really for? Like,
Well, I'm sure there's a reason why this stuff exists, but
okay.
I don't think we care. We just, well, look at it.
Okay.
It's deep.
So then they bring her in, and it's they have all the money. She's like, this is 5 times what you paid us for the train job. But he's only willing to hand over one of them, not both. And she, he's like, now you're gonna have to pick. And she, without hesitation, she picks Wash. And she's like, oh, did you need to finish your little speech, your little evil make me choose speech? Okay. And then she's able to take him away. But as she's pulling Wash away, this is where he decides to cut off Mal's ear. He's like, "Hey, maybe you should hear." I can't remember what he says. Something about
A very corny line that has to do with hearing.
hearing in a line, and then we see him have to cut off Mal's ear, which
Very 80s henchman.
yeah. Creates this, and then he hands Mal's ear to Zoe, and then she puts it in her bra, which I thought was a nice touch.
Well, she wraps it up first, though.
She wraps it up first, yes.
Yeah.
But where I guess it's a good place to keep it, isn't it?
He could have asked Mal a question, and then he could have referenced his line.
Hey Mal, you hear this?
Yeah, in 13 days. In 13 days, where he's like, "I'm prepared to wait until hell freezes over, or until I get an answer," which is when he's playing Adlai Stevenson in 13 days.
Right. So finally, they get Zoe gets Wash back, and Wash is like, "We have to go save Mal." Like, he feels indebted to Mal for helping him get through that torture, I guess. So they fly back to Serenity, trying to figure out what to do. And she's like, "Put the ear on ice to Simon so that you can reattach it later," as they're planning to, storm back and try to save Mal in some way. So as they're trying to get him cleaned up, then we go back to Mal, now only with one ear. As Niska continues the torture here on his group, and he has like a special new torture device, this like plug looking thing that you put like into his chest, and then it spits out with blades and wires. It didn't look pleasant. It looked quite
seems efficient for the torture side of things.
Yeah. He's like, "You gotta see this. It's amazing.
You gotta see this. I just got it in the mail. It's great."
Yeah, it's great. Hooks it up and throws that onto Mal, and we see it like go under his skin and kind of like CGI under his skin. It looked all right, I thought, for 2002 Fox TV network show.
Mal's got some tight nipples though, eh?
Yeah,
good for him.
I wonder if it's cold or if he just always has tight nipples, but
I don't know. Either way, they're good.
Yeah. So Zoe and Wash are getting all their guns and weapons ready, and they're heading over. And Jane's like, "This isn't gonna work. Your whole plan is stupid. And you're gonna die."
You guys are all dumb, and you're gonna die.
Right?
Typical Jane response.
Yeah, and then Kaylee's like, "Are they gonna be able to pull this off?" And Jane's like, "Nope."
Like, nope. They're all gonna die.
They're all gonna die. This is stupid. Like, you can't save him. Like, not with where he's held up, but they're gonna die trying if they, that's their plan here. Then they run into Book, Simon, and Kaylee, who have all grabbed weapons, and they're willing to go and help and save the day, as well with the whole bunch of them, which they accept. Then Jane is also along for the ride. He's in full Rambo
with his nice modified gun there.
Yeah. Didn't the gun have a name? I think.
Yeah, he has some name for it.
Francine
I can't remember.
or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Anyway, so they're heading off back to. We go back to Mal. How's he doing with the torture? Well, he's actually clinically dead at this point. So, which is unacceptable to the torturers. They must bring him back. So they get a defibrillator out and they resuscitate him.
Well, that's handy.
No, you can't die this fast, Mal. I need you to die.
It amazes me how quickly they can resurrect people with those things.
Yeah.
In TV, anyway.
He's planning to torture Mal for at least 2 more days, so you can't die.
Well, you have to have goals and ambition, Dave. It really, like, if you're going to be a torturer and of this caliber, this professional level, you need to have some sort of goals.
Like, I guess you have a point in the sense that, like, fictional torturers on TV and movies, like, this guy might be in the top 10. So
he could be. He could be. Yeah,
he's a contender. As they brought him back, and then they got pliers out. We never see what they do with the pliers, but I can't imagine it was anything.
You don't need to know.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: it doesn't matter. Pliers don't need to be anywhere near the human body. It's sensible.
No matter where they ended up, it wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't a good experience.
Serenity's planning to like just crash into Niska's space station and dock with it, but they have to like make a seal. Like there's certain specifics to the plan, which I appreciate that they threw into the dialogue that they needed to pull this off.
Well, you can't just crash into a space station and dock. Like you gotta do it with some finesse. Yeah.
Well, Wash does. He has to, because you have to, like a lot of things have to go right. Even I think Jane makes a line. He's like, if this happens and this happens and this happens, then our plan will work. He's like, there's a lot of ifs, but they all come to pass.
I did like how quiet that scene was, though. I liked how they showed it because it was super quiet. It was great.
Well, I appreciate that they don't do these, like, compared to Star Trek and Star Wars, like, for the most part, they have music, but they don't have, like, space sounds.
No.
Right? Like, in this show, space is quiet. Which, it is
reality. But yeah.
Right. But every other space show pretty much does space, like, you hear ships.
Yeah, you even hear, like, the Enterprise engines as they're.
You hear the engines, you hear the phaser fire, you hear things blow up, even though you wouldn't,
There's a reason for that. And now, like, because, like, it draws your interest, right? Like,
of course, yeah.
Right now, what they do with space shows is they do both. They do all of the sounds internally, and then, like, they'll do, like, a sequence where, like, an airlock opens and then everything goes quiet.
Yeah, like Project Hail Mary, there was barely any sound outside. Yeah, it was always inside.
But like when Serenity collides with this airlock, like, you don't even hear the boom from inside the ship. Right?
No, you just see it start to crumple, and
because this particular shot is from the exterior, and all the exterior shots are.
It's from the bottom of the ship too, so it's essentially them just flying right into it.
The other things, like space movies or shows do, instead of doing sound effects in space, what they'll do is they'll do like a really like epic score, like Interstellar's like that, right? Yes, sequences with music, so they don't have to do sound effects.
But I just loved how quiet it was. It was a nice kind of relief from all the noise that you were hearing in between these two shots, because it was like all of a sudden it just went dead, and it was kind of cool.
They've crashed in here. An alarm does go off because I guess the guy who was manning the airlock sets it off, and so
he
Torture and Niska are aware something's going on. As all these mercenaries are then they get Zoe, I think, drives the armadillo thing in, and they're shooting, and there's a whole big firefight that happens here. I won't go through.
Well, this is their way to get in, right? He straps a whole bunch of really bright lights on the front of that ATV thing, and then they basically put it on cruise control, and it crashes in, right?
Crashes in. This guy's like on fire when they come in, and like they spend.
His face is already like wicked burnt before he even like comes around the.
We don't have enough money to set you completely on fire, just like your back.
Yeah, we're just gonna set your back on fire. We're just gonna do makeup for the rest of it. It's fine.
Pretty cool.
I thought it was fine. Sometimes less is more, Dave.
Sometimes. Anyway, more gunfights as they're trying to make their way through to where Mal's being held. I think Mal, while Niska and the torturer man are like distracted. I suggest we're in charge this day. Mal manages to get the drop. He hits the torturer guy, and then he has Niska sort of pinned, and he's like, now you're gonna find out who I really am. But all he does is punch Niska a few times. He wasn't. I thought Mal's rage could have been a little bit more pronounced. I thought he was pretty tame, actually.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember he's also exhausted from being constantly, tormented, and he also was dead a couple minutes ago. So
well, he still got up. Anyway, so they're fighting their way through. At one point, Simon tries to shoot his gun, but he completely misses, and Book has to save his ass.
I love how like Book, it's like they said earlier, because he's like got a gun and he's like, well, there's nothing in the Bible that says I can't shoot kneecaps.
Because they asked him, you can't kill people. The Bible says you can't kill people. It's like, that's right, but it's
very iffy on the
kneecaps.
Yeah, fuzzy. That's how he says it.
Yeah. But anyway, at one point, like I think Book gets pulled away, and it's just Kaylee by herself here, and sort of where they docked, and a bunch of these mercenaries come through. It's just Kaylee and a gun, and she's not quite up to it. Let's just say that. In terms of attacking these guys, they start shooting at her, and it looks like they're going to be able to make their way inside of Serenity, which could really botch this rescue plan.
Well, and one nice little touch I thought was interesting is the people who are trained to use guns in this show don't actually have their fingers on the triggers, but the people who do have the fingers on the triggers are the people that don't have any idea what they're doing, which is interesting because anybody who, actually has gone through any sort of gun training would know you don't put it on unless you're intending to kill somebody right then and there.
But you're
Right,
saying
so
the
you're
people
not-
who don't know what they're doing do have their
Yeah. So Kaylee, for instance, she was walking around with her finger on the trigger the entire time. She has it in there all the time, which is the stupidest way to carry a gun.
But she doesn't know anything about them, right?
But she doesn't know shit about. Yeah, so that's what you can expect. And then you have the doctor as well, who takes a shot, completely misses. Because
Isn't
he's
she
not
like
trained at it either.
like an amazing engineer?
Yeah.
She is, but that doesn't mean you know how to fire a gun correctly.
I don't know. If I was living in the old West version of space, I would learn how to fire a gun.
Especially if I
it
was an engineer.
Well, you would
Yeah.
think that people would have it. Yeah. you'd
This
think
is
there'd be
outer
some-
space where there's reavers and all these crazy pirates and just bad people. Like you want to be able to defend yourself.
Yeah, her
Um,
character.
But she's also Kaylee.
Yes, but that's her. That's the thing about the show.
That's
is,
her
like,
character.
Some of these characters don't really fit in the world in which they live. Sometimes you're kind
But
of.
that's
like,
the whole
really?
point, though. This is supposed to be the fish out of water, spaceship, right?
Don't
Or
argue
half
with
the
Mr.
people-
Firefly.
No, I'm not Mr. Firefly.
You are.
I'm fill-in Firefly right now.
I asked Amanda, why do you like Firefly? Is it because of Mal? Because I was Kevin had said that, right? She's like, no, actually, she's like, well, he's one of the reasons because she likes all the Nathan Fillion shows. But
Mhm.
she's like, no, the main reason is Kaylee. And I went,
I like
"Really?"
Kaylee.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And she's like, she just thinks she's a good actress and everything. And I'm like, she's okay. I mean, she's not. I mean, I haven't seen everything else she's done.
She's
I'm
gotten
just being-
better with age. Let's put it that
She's
way.
on that show Family Law, which is on
Yeah.
CTV. Or
Right. I
something
think
now.
that's one of the shows she watches. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
She's been in a lot of stuff since this, but she
on
was also
Stargate.
fairly young.
She
She was on
Canadian,
Stargate
too.
for a bunch of years too.
Yeah, she was on Stargate for a good while.
Anyway, so she's getting shot at here, and it's all looking lost. But then River comes out to save the day, and she gets Kaylee's gun, and she just, with her eyes closed, shoots all of these guys in a few seconds, stunning Kaylee, and scaring her a bit, even, but saving.
Well,
her.
I think she can see how dangerous River is, right? Like she's a dangerous individual.
I would rather be
though she's
friends
a
with
kid.
River right now. I could tell you that.
Well, I don't think
West
she's
version
scared of River. I think she's just scared of the situation more than anything. But
Yeah, remember they were running around like little girls before.
But that's supposed to. I think that's supposed to show the context between the two of them, right? Because there was at the beginning of the episode, they were running around like little kids, and then now the little kid who is running away from her is killing people in front of her. It's a bit of a contrast there.
I guess it is for Kaylee.
Yeah.
All right. So then back with Mal gets then jumped by that same torture guy who he knocked out before.
The bald guy always gets up. I don't know why he would just turn his
Yeah.
back on him.
Because I guess it was like Mal can't fight this old man. Like it's like we have to give Mal a fair fight here at this
Right.
end of this episode.
If he loses in any way to the old man,
yeah.
it's only going to make him look weak.
And this torture guy is like choking him and hanging him over the edge here. And then Zoe and Jane and Wash, they show up. And Jane's about to shoot the torture guy. And Zoe goes, no, stop. This is something the captain has to do on his own. And then this is good. He's like, he just says, no, it's not.
It's not. And they're like, okay. And then they raise their guns.
I don't need to do this myself in any way. And they just all
Pulp
shoot
Fiction
him.
style. Yeah.
Pulp
Pulp
Fiction
Fiction style. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And he takes a fun little fall down this shaft.
I loved how they animated his fall though, because he hits the ball thing, bounces off of it, smacks right into like the crane arm thing, and then he kind of slides off of that.
Yeah,
it was kind of
good.
it looked as good as it could back then, I guess. But
We also find then there's a time jump. We go back to Serenity, right?
Yeah.
And this is where Mal's coming out of the infirmary with his ear back on, looking pretty well adjusted. Simon says, just don't fiddle with it. It'll be fine. He thanks Inara for her help, I guess, getting that medical equipment and everything else that the counselor had helped with.
Yep.
We also find out that Niska is like, he kept Niska alive. I don't know if he turned her into the authorities, or I was a little unclear about what exactly goes on with Niska at the end, but
We still have more episodes to worry about here, Dave. So, you know,
Oh man, he'll be
Niska's
back.
gonna live.
Yeah.
Niska has to live.
All right. Oh yeah. There's a joke here. You know, he thanks Simon for coming to help him, but he's like, well, I didn't expect to have to shoot people. And then Book makes a joke. Don't worry, you didn't shoot anybody. You suck at shooting. And then they all laugh. Ha ha ha. Simon sucks at shooting. And then there's this look here at the end with Kaylee across the cargo bay looking at River. Oh, I don't know with this River. I don't know if we can be pals anymore. She can kill people very efficiently. And why would I want a friend like that?
Kaylee is a delicate soul.
Yeah, that she is. And then back to there's this. I guess this is the final scene, I believe. We're in the kitchen.
Soup?
Yeah, the kitchen here on Serenity. Zoe's making soup for Wash. You know.
I like how he's sitting there anticipating it like a schoolboy. Eh?
He's like, okay, Zoe, make me some soup.
Get me some soup.
Yeah, and then Mal comes in and he goes,
I love this part.
Mal goes, Wash, I was talking to Zoe and we said, okay, we have to have sex now.
We got to get rid of this tension.
Yeah, get rid of this tension. It's hurting your marriage, so it's good.
We got to give it a go. You know.
Yeah.
And I love how both of them are just looking at each other like, yeah, we're not actually going to do this. And he's like, but we got to at least try to sell it a bit.
Oh, yeah, we got to try to sell it. Like, it's completely, it's like, they should have I think they should have laughed a little bit more, but they tried to, like, even going for a kiss and whatever. And then Wash shows up. He says, no, I'm taking her to our bunk to bang. See you later.
I don't think he said that, but yeah.
Well, it was
implied. Yeah.
It was implied banging.
Okay,
and,
can you go back to that shot? Okay, so all right, in this show, did you know that they for whatever reason they always shoot it that they try to make Zoe look taller than Wash, right? Like look at their eyes, right?
Yeah.
Like she's just slightly taller than him. But in reality, he's 2 inches taller than her.
Yeah, because it's weird because I'm always like, he's not that short, right? You know, because
and if you think about it, he sits down a lot, right? So like when she's walking into rooms, he's already sitting down, right? So it's But
I have been watching the show sometimes and going, like, is he short or not? You know, and then I get weirded out. That makes sense. Okay. Huh. Anyway, so then they go off, and Jane, he comes in. I don't know. He says some joke, and then he grabs all the soup and he eats the.
Oh, he goes free soup.
Free soup. I get to eat the soup that Zoe made Wash.
Jane's that guy that, you know, you remember when you're at all those house parties when you were younger and the guy running around grabbing everybody's like leftover beers. Mm-hmm. He's that guy. Yeah,
I was that guy when I was 2.
Oh, well, that's a whole other issue.
You're Jane.
Anyway, Dave, I think it's time for some fun facts.
Are you doing the fun facts?
I'll do the fun facts, sure.
Okay.
They won't be as sexy, but
all right, let's do it.
Well, a suitor man like you would kill for.
Pepe Sylvia. I looked in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia. So I say to myself, I gotta find this guy. I gotta go up to his office. I gotta put his mail in the guy's goddamn hands. Otherwise, he's never gonna get it. He's gonna keep coming back down here.
That's pretty good. All right. Did Jim make that one too?
He did.
Okay. The long Chinese phrase "Wash angrily yells at Zoe on the bridge" translates roughly to "Shove all the planets up the universe up my ass." Shove all the planets in the universe up my ass is what he said.
That's a lot.
Not sure. That is a lot. Yeah.
Like, in the galaxy, the whole universe.
The whole universe, Dave. Yeah, that's a lot of planets. I don't know if they're gonna fit. Anyway. On the DVD commentary, Alan Tudyk pointed out that despite the way Zoe and Wash were constantly portrayed, with Zoe being taller than her husband, Alan is in fact taller than Gina Torres, which is obviously who plays Zoe. He is 6 foot. She is 5'10". So there you go.
She's tall for a woman, but
she is tall,
yeah. Well, you know, there you go. The opening scene where Simon and Book are discussing the operations performed on River. Simon is looking at a computer display of River's brain. The text that scans past underneath the brain model is lines of JavaScript code from a web page. It turns out she's a web server. What can you do? As Firefly docks with the space station, the guard appears to be reading an advert for Stop Staring, a real 20th century company that sells vintage clothing.
Do they
Interesting.
buy for the costuming on this show?
No idea. Episode 10 in the Josh Whedon intended timeline for Firefly, and not as Fox dictated the episodes were to be run. So
what was
We're
it
right.
actually when they aired it? Like, was that episode actually like?
I think this is actually 9, if I'm not mistaken. Aired 9, but it's actually 10th. All right. Okay, the desert where Wash and Mel are attacked seems to be the same one appearing in Buffy the Vampire Slayer in several occasions when Buffy meets the first Slayer.
I
have
was
no
sure that
idea.
was Vasquez Rocks. Like, was it not? There,
I don't see anything that says it is, so I'm gonna go with probably not.
I was like, this looks like where the Gorn would be. Look, this looks like that scene.
They're gone.
It's a desert in Los Angeles or near Los Angeles.
Exactly. The name of the madman whose writings on torture both Book and Niska mentions was Shan Yu, the same as the villain in Milan from 1998.
Right. They mentioned this Zhang Yu, right? The philosophy a bunch of times. You know, and he's the villain of Mulan.
Yeah, he's the villain in Milan, yeah.
And what's he like? Some kind of war strategist or something? Or what was
I don't know. I never saw Milan. I know
it
roughly the story, but
I've seen it many, many, many times.
I'm sure you have. Yeah.
Do you know who Zhang Yu is? Like the villain of Mulan?
Yeah, he's the leader of the Huns, or
like the Attila the Hun is in those Huns.
No, I don't think so. The Huns from like Mongolia,
right?
Like from over the Great Wall of China
was a Hun from.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but he's not Attila. Like it's.
Yeah,
He's just like a soldier, like a general, I guess, or like that comes over the wall, and he's like the big bad.
And what was his philosophy?
He just wanted to take over China.
Oh.
You know, he was like a warlord.
So getting back to what you were saying there, Dave. Episode 9 is supposed to officially be Ariel, according to the official Firefly box set released in 2017. War Stories is officially episode 10. So it's the one after Ariel.
This is the 10th episode we're doing.
Yeah. Well, that's because we're doing them in the DVD order. And this is the second time Nathan Fillion starred in a television episode called War Stories. He previously appeared in War Stories in Two Guys and a Girl, which is the show that I think Ryan Reynolds was on.
No, that was not the Two Guys and a Girl in a pizza shop.
Yeah, I think they just shortened it down later on, didn't they?
Oh, they left out
I
the
don't know.
pizza shop.
I can find out for you. Hold on. Let's find it.
If I with the pizza
yeah,
shop,
it's the same one. It is the same one. Original title was Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, and then they changed it to Two Guys and a Girl. I guess maybe they didn't have the pizza place anymore. I don't know. I never watched it.
I
never watched it. Well, you know what? I'm sorry, Dave. But you know what, Dave? Sometimes things have to come to an end.
Yeah, I was like, is that
and
your
fun
cue
facts? And fun facts have come to an end.
All right, thank you, Jody. We appreciate that. We're heading to ratings and score the episode. Only 3 of us tonight, so let's go fast.
Okay, it just means ours counts more.
Yeah, that's right. I liked this. I thought this was good. I think it was, like it's a Firefly 9. I don't know if it was otherwise what I would give it. Jody?
Was it better than last week's? I think it's about on par. I'm gonna give it another 8.5.
All right, and Jeff,
I'll go like 8.8.
All right,
high praise from Jeff. That is high
pretty
praise.
good.
I know. I don't really like this show. So, but it was my favorite episode so far.
Mal means bad in Latin. Yes, that's true. And IMDb score. I'm just pulling that up right here. It looks like we are at 8.8, same as Jeff.
Turns out Jeff is IMDb. We never knew.
Well, and it was weird because you picked 8.5, I picked 9. We were already averaging 8.8 before Jeff even came in. So
crazy.
I don't know.
I just thought of it.
Yeah, Jeff, did you watch episode 9, Ariel?
I haven't watched it. No.
No. Okay.
Apparently, it was popular. Even Kevin gave it a 10. That's insane.
Kevin's given 3 10s in a row.
Yeah, he's really turning around.
No,
Oh, that's World Mind. That's World Mind.
Oh no, that was World Mind. Yeah,
World Mind.
Oh, no.
I'm not
but,
surprised.
Oh,
but Kevin did give it a 10 last.
Kevin
He gave,
gave it-
no, he only gave out 110. I'm sorry.
He's given 3 episodes of 5 and a 5.5.
So he's
Really?
been up and down.
He's been more with B.
He's
on
trying
average-
though.
On average, the highest rating is Jim. And then
Well, that's why he's Mr. Firefly now.
that's why he's Mr. Love.
Yep,
He has to.
taking
He has to
him
give a
on.
high rating, or he won't be. Mr.
Adam
Firefly.
gave an episode a 0, which I don't think anyone has ever done.
Oh, he's done it.
Oh, he alone has done that over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gave last week's episode an 8, so that's
But this was okay. The episode he gave a 0 was the train job, which was the first introduction of Niska. So
Mhm.
it'll be curious to see what he gives this episode because this brought back a character.
I also think it's possible that if you go back and ask him to re-rate it, he'll probably rate it differently.
I think that's also possible too. He could have just been hungry that night. You know.
So Draven says, "Well, it's nice to see y'all like the show more as you watch it." Well, we kind of knew that was going to happen anyway. There was a couple people.
I
who
wasn't so
definitely
sure, but I don't mind watching this show. It's good. Like especially these last 3 episodes have been solid. And we'll see if we can keep that going.
Stargeyser just has a comment here. Can we get a round of applause to Dave for being host on nearly each and every one of these podcasts? Now that's dedication.
Well, thank you, Stargazer Fish. We appreciate you.
It's mostly because he's a control freak, and that
Hey,
helps.
there are nights I am happy.
I'm just kidding. I'm
to
just
let,
kidding.
let everyone else. And everyone's like, no, Dave, you can keep doing it. It's
we
fine."
all believe that Dave does too much. So yeah.
I'm happy to share the responsibilities. But thank you. I appreciate the recognition, Stargazer. Okay, so looking ahead to the next episode.
Yes.
Is episode 11.
Great assets in the next episode.
Yes, it is called Trash, and we're bringing back Christina Hendricks. Saffron returns with a new heist, a valuable artifact, and a plan the crew knows better than to trust. Is our title here. Interesting.
I just
foil.
adore her.
Good looking.
I
she's
just mean
good.
every way.
Yeah. So hey, she's back. Get ready for Saffron. I'm just mad about Saffron. Saffron's mad about me. All right. That is our conclusion.
I like this. Here's a summary. Oh well, they love that episode. It's Christina Hendricks and a heist. Sounds like it's going to be great.
Yeah, I liked her for her first episode. Also, check us out on this channel on Thursday. Normally, we often do Star Trek: The Next Generation, but right now we are in the middle of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 4, and we'll be back on Thursday to talk about Episode 5. It is called Level 5 Transporter Accident. And in this one, a bizarre transporter malfunction turns most of the USS Enterprise crew into puppets, leaving Spock alone to fight and reclaim the ship. Jeff,
Great.
any reaction?
they're doing a whole episode of puppets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird for Star Trek to do that.
And Spock has to, they all get turned into puppets by the transporter, and then Spock has to, he's the only one who doesn't, and he has to fix it.
I mean, I've never watched this show, but it seems like they have some fun with it, I guess. So that's good. They don't take it too seriously, it seems like.
Watch the puppet episode be the best of the series. Yeah, no.
Jody has not been excited about the puppets from the moment they were
The
first
minute I
announced.
saw the teaser, I'm like, oh no.
Were you not a Muppet guy, or is it just you don't want them mixed? Here?
I like the Muppets. I love the Muppet Show when I was younger, and I think if I watched it again, I'd probably still enjoy it. But you know what? There's some things where things don't need to be in other things, and I think Muppets don't need to be in Star Trek. Sorry. But I also didn't think that singing Klingons need to be in Star Trek either. And that was
Yeah, you
just
weren't.
as stupid.
So it's been a ride here in Strange New Worlds. They like I'll say every episode's unique. Every episode stands on its own, like for better or worse. So
What, Firefly?
Yeah.
No, Strange New Worlds.
Oh, okay.
Especially this season, I would say more than any other season, because every episode has been something very different,
right,
in some way.
Not always in a good way, though.
Sometimes in a good way. Yeah. Anyway, so check it out Thursdays.
All right.
And we were just on last night for Trivial Debates, the 100th episode. I don't have the banner here, but we were 11 years of Trivial Debates, 100 episodes. Went live yesterday on the Trivial Debates channel. Please check that out. We appreciate everyone who subscribes, likes, and checks out Trivial Debates over these years. We redid all the questions from the first episode once again, and we did not get the same results. So go and look that up.
No, we didn't.
Well, hey, did you see this one? They're on this week. I'm not sure what they're doing, but they're on every Thursday as well. So you can go check them out over there.
I can't remember what they're doing this week.
I guess I'll show
but I'm sure it's good, and will be 3.5 hours long.
Oh, if at least. Okay. Yeah. And with that, I don't know, I'll play a Firefly clip that Murphy left us. How about this one? And we'll see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. Have a great night, everyone.
This must be what going mad feels like.
That was shorter than I meant. Okay, bye.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise. Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mato Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.